Every active player robbing the NBA. Explain. Reaction. Let's get
A
it.
little while ago, I broke down the biggest contract robberies in NBA history. The guys like John Wall and Ben Simmons who secured the bag and then completely disappeared. But in this video, I want to take a different approach and look only at active players that are robbing the NBA as we speak. We are talking about current rosters, current salary caps, and franchises that are currently being suffocated by hundreds of millions of dollars in dead weight. From superstars who can't stay on the floor to role players getting paid like franchise saviors, the current landscape of the NBA is littered with terrible deals. Here is every active player robbing the NBA. We are kicking things off at number 6 with Jeremy Grant of the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
Now, usually, when you see a contract this bad, it's on a team trying to win a championship that took a desperate swing and missed. But the situation in Portland is confusing for entirely different reasons. Here's the deal. Jeremy Grant signed a 5-year contract worth $160 million.
Sheesh.
That is franchise cornerstone money. That is second option on a championship team money. But Jeremy Grant is playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, a team that is deep in the trenches of a rebuild. They are years away from being competitive, yet they are paying over $30 million a year to a non-all-star who doesn't fit their timeline at all.
So they're forced to pay that out due to the new stimulations, right?
I look at this roster, and I see young guys trying to develop, trying to find their footing in the league. And then there is Grant, taking up a massive chunk of the salary cap and a massive chunk of the offensive possessions. And for what? We are seeing a serious regression in his efficiency and his overall impact. Last year, his scoring dropped down to 14 points per game. In previous years, he was averaging over 20. That is a steep decline for a guy who is supposed to be in his prime earning top-tier money. To be fair, he has had a slightly better start to this season, but the availability is already an issue. He has only started in 5 games so far, and this is where the robbery aspect really kicks in. In the NBA, a contract is an asset. You pay players so you can either win with them or trade them for value later. Jeremy Grant is currently universally listed as one of the league's least movable contracts. If Portland wanted to pivot and trade him to get assets for their rebuild, they would likely have to attach draft picks just to get another team to swallow that salary. He is a solid role player, don't get me wrong, but he is a bench piece or a fourth option on a good team.
So because they're forced to pay as the max contract, right, to a player that potentially not the player that's going to carry them to a championship or even nowhere near get close, they have to not only, if they decide to trade that player, to convince the other team is they have to also give away their first round picks or their most important picks, right?
Getting paid like a superstar on a team that is going absolutely nowhere.
That's
bad
crazy.
Asset management, plain and simple. Moving on to number 5, we have to talk about the tragedy that is the Los Angeles Clippers, and specifically Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers gave Kawhi a 3-year extension worth $150 million. That breaks down to $50 million per year. At the time,
my God.
the hope was that the load management era would pay off with a healthy postseason run. Instead, the Clippers are in absolute shambles. After a slow start to the season, they are sitting as the 13th seed with a record of 5 wins and 13 losses. This was supposed to be a contender. Instead, they have created what the internet is calling Unk Nation, a roster full of recognizable names who are all past their prime with an average age of 33 years old. It's a retirement home with a basketball court. And at the core of this problem is Kawhi Leonard, his massive contract, and his complete inability to stay on the floor. Let's look at the numbers. In the first year of this deal, he played only 37 games. This season, he started the year injured, missed a chunk of time immediately, and has only played 8 games so far. But the on-court absence is only half the nightmare. The Clippers went all in on this era, trading away their future to pair Kawhi with Paul George. As a result, the Oklahoma City Thunder control LA's first-round picks in both 2026 and 2027 through swap rights. So the Clippers are bad, they are expensive, and they don't even own their own failure. They are tanking for another team. But here's where it gets even crazier. There is a scandal brewing that makes this contract look even worse. Journalist Pablo Torre recently revealed a report involving a company called Aspiration Partners, which was partly owned by Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. The report alleges that this company paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million for endorsement work that he never actually performed. Investors have sued Ballmer, alleging fraud. The NBA is currently investigating this as potential salary cap circumvention. Now, both sides deny everything, and these are just allegations right now. But fans have made their decision. When you combine a player who is past his prime, constantly injured, barely playing, and taking up $50 million in cap space, and then you add a potential scandal about illegal payments on top of it, it feels like the Clippers got robbed blind.
I mean, they did get robbed. They did get robbed. Whether it was on purpose or not, they did get robbed. We gotta admit that. It's a lot of money, first of all, for a player to receive that, and they're not able to contribute, right? And it's very hard to push that, where you're trying to not go over your budget, and at the same time, you're forced to spend all of it towards one specific all-star player who's taking up what 150 million can do is literally give you 3 to 4 all-star players. Probably 3. But it's literally getting passed out to like one player.
A 4-year, $128 million contract based on that potential. But in under 18 months, he has gone from a future star to arguably the worst dead money contract in the entire. They traded for Poole, who is currently putting up 17 points per game on 35% shooting from this and cost per point. And on defense, he is basically a hologram. He offers 0 resistance. It got so bad that at one point, his previous team, the Washington Wizards, a team that is actively trying to lose games, decided to bench his 6th man.
That's crazy.
At number 3, we are staying in New Orleans because, unfortunately, the Pelicans have a monopoly on terrible contracts right now. Next on the list is Zion Williamson. Zion is currently on a 5-year rookie max extension worth roughly $197 million.
Rookie max.
Talking about this one is frustrating because we all know the talent is there. When Zion is on the floor, he is elite. He is an unstoppable force of nature. But the problem is, those moments are becoming rarer and rarer. Let's look at the attendance record. In 6 seasons since being drafted, Zion has played a total of 214 games. If you do the math, that averages out to just 35 games per season. He is a part-time player, getting paid full-time superstar money. He is already missing games this season, and without him, the team looks terrible.
Dang.
It's not just the injuries, it's the narrative surrounding them. We have years of questions about his conditioning. We have the infamous fat clause in his contract.
Well, I mean, hold up. Now, to be fair, the man was working out and he took care of his body in better condition. And he looked far more healthy than he has been previous years ago. But yeah, they're still, they're working on it. I don't think that Pelicans are going to be able to see the returns so soon at all with what they're spending on Zion.
Because the team was so worried about his weight management. We have constant questions about his focus and commitment to the game. Every advanced value model tanks his ranking strictly because availability is the best ability, and Zion doesn't have it. He has become the NBA's biggest what-if story, but he has also become one of its biggest money sinks. This puts New Orleans in a terrible position. Trade rumors are surfacing, but who is going to trade real assets for a guy with this injury history and this contract? He is arguably untradeable. This leaves the franchise in shambles. They can't fully embrace a tank because they have Zion on the payroll, but they are unable to compete because Zion is never on the court. He is robbing them of a direction.
Robbing is very, very, very strong. You know what I'm saying? If a person is injured, then they can't control that. You know, a lot of these players are injured, but at the same time, they have the money to get back on the floor. Like Kobe Bryant played through many injuries, and he also took the time to get serious so he can get back as soon as possible on the floor. Whether it's when he was injured, you know, all of them, all the people back then who got injured, these people have enough money to afford the best medicine practice team, right? Like, there should be something where they need to be working on that, like investing a lot of this money into their bodies, so that way not only after they finish the game of NBA and they retire, in previous right now where they at, that their bodies are taken care of. I mean, that's what I would do. LeBron James himself spends I think he said $1 million a year on his body, to treat his body, to take care of his body, right? That's why he's able to play and perform how long he's been performing. So there are players who take this serious with their body. And then there's some players who just, I don't know.
Terribly sorry to interrupt, but please like and subscribe if you can.
Yes, and what mine's too.
I'm a small creator with no team.
I will also have his link in the description, right? Any videos I react to, I have all their videos and channels link in the description.
And each video takes over 20 hours to make. So your support truly makes a difference. Now, let's get back to the video. We are entering the heavyweight division of contract robberies now. At number 2, it is Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. He's an MVP. How is he robbing the league? You have to look at the financial commitment versus the return. Joel Embiid has roughly $247 million remaining on his deal. He is making $55 million this season from his previous contract. And then he has a massive 3-year extension worth $193 million kicking in after that. I believe the 76ers made a massive mistake by giving him that extension. Nobody was pressuring them to do it right then. It was a bid against themselves. And since his MVP season, Embiid has been a shell of himself physically. This year, he has only played in 6 games so far. He looks slow, he looks hurt, and he looks disinterested. But the real horror story is the future. If his contract looks bad now, at $55 million, just wait. In the 2028 to 2029 season, Philadelphia will be paying Joel Embiid $69 million. He will be 35 years old. He is a cap crusher. He takes up more than 30% of the team's salary cap every single season, well into his 30s. And the argument from fans and media is becoming impossible to ignore.
Man,
you simply cannot build a championship team around a guy who is never healthy in May.
Now, this is going to be the question, though. Fans, media, and even teammates, how are they going to start looking at these players, these all-star players who are considered all-stars or supposed to be, and they're getting paid that amount of money, but they're not performing? You know, how is that going to look in the rooms, the locker rooms, and the fans? You know what I'm saying?
And if that wasn't enough, we have to talk about the playoffs. Even when he is healthy enough to be on the court, he has a reputation as a playoff choker. He has never been past the second round. So you are paying $250 million money for a player who is constantly injured during the regular season and disappears during the postseason. He appears on worst contract lists purely due to the combination of risk and durability. He is a top-tier superstar attached to a terrifyingly fragile financial commitment. And finally, at number 1, we have the other half of the Philadelphia disaster class. The undisputed king of active contract robberies right now is Paul George.
Uh-oh.
Yes, somehow Philadelphia has managed to secure the two worst contracts in the NBA on the same roster. Paul George signed a max deal in 2024 worth roughly $212 million.
Holy smokes!
I've said this before, and I will say it again. I do not understand why they gave him this contract.
Damn.
Nobody does. It was a massive overpay the moment the ink dried.
Clean this
No
nong
real
though.
bidding war. No other team was lining up to give a 34-year-old Paul George a 4-year max deal. He is 35 years old right now. His mileage is catching up to him. His athleticism is slipping, and his availability is non-existent. Last season, people talked about his decline, but at least he played some games. This season, it is a catastrophe. So far, Paul George has only played 3 games. In total, he has logged a combined 66 minutes of playtime. Let's break down the math on that because it is truly sickening. Based on his salary for this season alone, Paul George has already earned $11 million for a single hour of playtime. $11 million an hour. That isn't just a bad contract. That is a heist. And it gets worse. The Sixers will be paying him $55 million when he is 38 years old.
That's crazy.
Who thinks a 38-year-old Paul George is going to be worth $55 million? Between Paul George and Joel Embiid, Philadelphia is in an absolutely disgusting situation. They have capped themselves out for half a decade on 2 players who cannot stay on the floor. At this point, they will be lucky if they can trade these players for a bag of chips. Paul George isn't just robbing the Sixers, he is holding the entire franchise hostage. So there you have it.
That's crazy.
These are the players who are currently...
That is crazy. That's a lot of money between all of them, too. Sheesh. That's like a total combination just about $1 billion, ain't it? Shy. About 800 and something million dollars. That's crazy. Anyways, man, what y'all think? Comment down below. See y'all in the next one. Peace.